say that his killing is not only tragic, we say that his killing is illegal. When we allow police to get away with murder, it makes us all unsafe. When we allow police to kill black men with impunity, it reinforces the racism in our society that drives home the message that there is a double standard in everything, that some lives matter and some do not. The hope is that we can say no. No more killing in our name, because all children are precious. All of us are created equal. We say that the police should never be the only ones to investigate themselves when they kill people. We say that the work of seeking the truth and justice is not just the work of police agents, but it is the work of we, the people. Join us in this work.
My name is James Ricks. I'm a member of the Shawn Greenwood Working Group. And this happened 3 years ago, and we still have questions unanswered that we asked shortly after this tragedy. We have questions. Most know the details of the tragedy of how Shawn Greenwood was killed, at least at some level. Not a small feat considering the expected resistance one encounters when the police are charged with investigating one of their own. Circle the wagons under a rapidly descending, non-transparent cloud. A toxic mixture of misinformation, character assassination, and intimidation is instantly initiated, as though the police and not the deceased were the ones that were violated. Local media is in eerie lockstep with the official story, no matter how improbable. A disturbing partnership that provides the official, that is the police story in the local media, is for public saturation. Investigative journalism has been replaced by an access equals success formula. Presidents pardon each other when accused or indicted for national or international crimes. We're all more forgiving when comrades or friends or like-minded folk, and it's an understandable inclination. The problem is that when police forgive each other or they pardon each other, it's usually at the expense of someone seriously injured or dead. Usually and disproportionately, the justifiably killed are black or brown or poor or some combination of these three. Police have a long history of justifying abuse and killing of the marginalized in our society. Did Earl Little, Malcolm X's father, really fall under that streetcar? Was Fred Hampton really in a police shootout or a massacre? Amadou Diallo, Henry Glover, the beat goes on and the death toll rises. Here in Ithaca on the 23rd of February 2013, we will remember a troubling encounter, one that left Shawn Greenwood dead, and a wedge of suspicion driven further between increasingly polarized segments of this community. At the materialistically disadvantaged end of that equation, a macabre understanding becomes more and more clear. You can be marginalized and demeaned on a daily basis, and if the situation allows, occasionally killed with very little transparency and virtually no accountability required by those assigned to protect and serve. We as a community have respect asked important and pertinent questions. We have been subjected to that systemic, turn the temperature down, emotionally and energy draining, cold shower, procedural bullshit of not having our questions answered because of a pending investigation and then not having our questions answered because the investigation is over. But the questions remain. Why, if the police are being truthful, haven't they released the videos they confiscated of the incident? There were conflicting police and witness testimony about key points in this tragedy. Witness testimony stated that there was never anyone in front of or in immediate danger of being run over by Shawn Greenwood's van. This was left out of the special prosecutor's statement. What is the IPD's taser policy, specifically as it relates to the deployment of tasers at a person behind the wheel of a running vehicle and in a crowded public parking lot at that? What is IPD's policy as it relates to a conflict of interest? The only person to discharge his weapon at this tragic incident was Brian Banks. This officer allegedly had an ongoing, intense adversarial relationship with Shawn Greenwood, the man he shot. The DA's report in the Ithaca Journal went to great lengths to raise questions and paint a harsh picture of Shawn Greenwood. His past history was deemed relevant, but the fact that Brian Banks had an adversarial relationship with Shawn Greenwood was not considered relevant. Personal animosity is a motive. In most cases, motive and opportunity are what is required to investigate criminal activity. Making the motive of the offender irrelevant makes me wonder, what could they possibly have been investigating? If the investigation was not about the improper performance of the police and the possible reasons for that performance, I pose a question. If one of those 11 police officers observed that Shawn Greenwood was unconscious from 3 tasers deployed at him, would that officer report the fact, knowing that it would put his fellow officer in legal jeopardy? Would he risk being branded as a pariah and a whistleblower? For what? Gratitude? Gratitude from who? Is that the balance? Police loyalty to one another in and of itself does not have to be a bad thing. Arguably it's necessary, and there's sometimes very dangerous line of work. That being said, where's that line of loyalty drawn? And with these men whose lives depend on each other daily, if something improper had taken place that day that they were aware of, would they have stepped up for a dead black man that they had described as a habitual criminal, suspected drug dealer, and potential flight risk in their self-justifying public statements? I was a member of a group that studied the district attorney's Wetmore statement about this incident for the better part of 2 years. This group that I was a part of, we are all quite intelligent, courageous, sympathetic, impartial, at least in our evaluation of ourselves. With all due respect, there are reasonable, sincere questions that have not been addressed. Freedom of Information Act requests for police procedures or to view confiscated video evidence has been denied, even though they claim the video support their version. Prove it. We have questions that begin with the conflict of interest issue at the very formation of this search detail. The police stated that Shawn Greenwood had a substantial criminal history, was a significant flight risk, and had a tremendous incentive to flee. And that although they had prepared for various scenarios, the refusal of Shawn to comply changed the dynamics. He could either submit or flee. There are not too many variations on that theme to my understanding. At the actual shooting, we question the justification of the use of lethal force in the first place, and the fact that only one officer felt these lethal requirements had been met. And that same officer was the one that came into question in the conflict of interest issue. The statement of Officer D, who had immediately entered Shawn's van through a side door, seemed to have evaporated from the report. It was mentioned in the report that Officer D, in the van with Shawn, did not see anyone in front of Shawn's van. Page 6, paragraph 2, the last 2 sentences. We have questions. At the hospital, the family was only able to view Shawn from a distance from behind a plexiglass shield with a sheet pulled up to his neck for modesty, sympathy, or perhaps to hide taser burn. Officer Witt said, hit by an accelerating vehicle, somehow miraculously managed to roll out of the way before being run over. He was treated in less than an hour. Where is his injury report? We have questions. I think I've said enough. Even though I haven't said it all, there's much we still don't know. This community was delayed answers because of a pending report. I heard a wise person state clearly that wounds cannot be healed before they are clean. Transparency and accountability would go a long way toward that end. That's it. Thank you. Yeah.
Before everybody leaves, we have Know Your Rights pamphlets for anybody. This is to know your rights when you get stopped by the police. So if anybody wants one, please come and get it, okay?
At this time, we would like to invite Shawn Greenwood's family to say a few words if they wish to, or close friends. And Shawn's mom is here.
Hi, I want to thank everyone for coming.
I'm going to stand here so everybody can come.
Everyone knows. I like to, thank you very much for hanging with us, and we're having a little refreshments at the South Side, and you're all welcome. My family's here, my daughter Paula, my grandkids, my daughter Tracy, my son Gary. That's little Shawn there running right here. He didn't get a chance to meet his daddy, but he acts a lot like him. Can you say hi? But I want to thank everybody for really coming. Thank you very much. It means a lot to me.
Yep, remember this one?